Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, July 17th, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I nurture myself to find balance and harmony in my life. Woo! Welcome to this week. Welcome to some intense astro amazingness. New moon today, nodal shift today, that's huge, but preparing us for some nodal Pluto squares, Sun Pluto squares this week, Sun nodal squares, and also Venus retrograde happening. So much going on. We're going to focus today on the new moon and the nodal shift. And I think there is no accident that we have the new moon and the nodal shift happening together. This to me is so deliberate as thank you, Luce. She agrees. She's like, North Node in Taurus, don't leave me. She's distressed. But it feels so choreographed. Always these steps. And this new moon with the nodal shift, along with this other intense astro that's going on, feels pertinent. It feels like opening up a new pathway. There is some release of old ways, release of old timelines potentially, and new portals opening up in these shifts. We'll start with the new moon because the new moon does happen before the nodal shift. So we have the new moon in Cancer at 11:32 a.m. Pacific time. This new moon is at 24 degrees Cancer. It's not really connecting anything to anything specifically, but we are having a connection with Uranus. That's the last meeting that the moon makes before the new moon, is a connection to Uranus. And Uranus is about liberation and change. So there we have that message again. So watch in the morning for any emotional energy. I was just telling my patron group, I'm not a huge crier all the time, but yesterday I was a puddle. I just had it wasn't even things that were necessarily needed to be cried about, but everything just needed to be cried about, and it just felt like such a beautiful opportunity for release. And so in this new moon energy, if you feel like expressing yourself like Luce right now, was very noisy, if you need to cry, do so. Wring yourself out. What I saw myself as today was a sponge who had taken on way too much and just kind of needed to be wrung out so that I could begin anew. Any new moon is beautiful for planting seeds, seeding intentions. We want to work our seeds with beautiful emotional energy. So hold gratitude or whatever emotion feels beautiful for you in this new moon energy to help support your seeds. And like I said, with the nodal shift, there's a call to something new afoot. So the last time we had the nodes in North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, was 2005, 2006. I think before that was, 1986, 1987? So you remember those days, check in and see if you can think of any places where you found yourself particularly active. With the North Node in Aries, we are being called to activate. We're being called to take action. We're being called to recognize who we are, most importantly. I think that there's going to be some really interesting shifts and alignments happening in relationships. So like I said, this nodal shift is happening almost tandem with Venus going retrograde. Venus is basically stationing at 28 degrees Leo today. It's reached 28 degrees. That's the degree where it's going retrograde. And again, no accidents in the unfolding of this. In fact, Venus is pretty much trining the North Node and in a sextile with the South Node. So this is definitely relationship energy is a part of it. The North Node in Aries is calling all of us to embrace, engage, heal, bring forth our highest, truest I am selves. Now, to be fair, Chiron has been in Aries working this process. Jupiter moved through Aries working that process. So this isn't new to us, but the North Node is like our collective North Star that's beckoning us to embrace this energy. Now the South Node isn't like throw that in the garbage. We want to take the South Node energy, learn from it, pull from it to help us in moving forward. So we want to learn how to find that balance. But rather than trying to find that balance outside of ourselves, which can be what Libra can tend to do, we're looking to find that balance and harmony within ourselves. And I think this will be a major lesson throughout this transit, is looking to find balance in ourselves, harmonizing who we are, rather than trying to harmonize outside. So I always work this lesson. I have a lot of Libra in my chart, and I've learned a long time ago that having a lot of Libra in your chart can make you want to try to make everything nice out here, and a lot of times it's at the expense of yourself. And so this is a call to stop expending ourselves, because when you're trying to create harmony, and meanwhile out there, and meanwhile pulling from your empty cup or whatever, you're trying to create harmony from chaos. And the universe can do that. And I think sometimes we can manage that. My lights are doing funky things, so sorry about that. But when we try to do that, we often end up creating more chaos. And so this is a call to tend to your I am. Tend to who you are, and let that energy light you up. Recognize that who you are is a gift to the world. Recognize that you came to fulfill your full seeded potential. I love this with the new moon energy, because we use that euphemism of seeds. That seeded potential is within you and is being called forward, called forth in this energy. Now, that being said, we're not entering with the most smoothest of energy. As soon as the nodes move in, they are moving in at 29 degrees. The nodes move backwards. So they're moving in at 29 degrees, which is where Pluto is. So Pluto will be squaring the nodes. So already we may find within ourselves and even within the world some struggle, some challenge, which Aries kind of eats up, but struggle and challenge between embracing who we are, embracing that harmony and balance within ourselves, and that temptation to feed that harmony, that balance outside in the world. So be aware of that there may be some power struggles. This may be in any relationship we have. Again, Venus preparing for retrograde in Leo. This could be in romantic relationships, familial, relationship with nature, relationship with the universe, relationship with your animals. You heard Luce having issues, right? This could show up in so many different ways. So just be aware of that in moving forward. Now, if you've been watching me, I've been saying this Leo yod, this Venus yod that we have, is asking us to pull through with love. And love and compassion for yourself will be a huge part of this puzzle, helping to bring you, pull you, move you forward in and through this energy. So just be super aware of that. In fact, so if you've been watching me a really long time, when the nodes were in Gemini, that's when I was like, hey, stay curious at the end of the scope. And then it shifted to Taurus, which was honor your values, right? And now with it moving into Aries, embrace your I am is going to be, or harmonize your I am. I don't know. I think embrace your I am is going to be our focus. It's going to take me a little while to remember this, but this is going to be our collective North Star that we're meant to be engaging for the next year and a half. It will be through January of 2025 that we have this energy going on. If you are interested in me going through sign by sign, the focus for your individual chart, I did do that in my Patreon group, and you can always join my Patreon group for that, or you can email me, and for a little donation, I would happily send that to you. the astro energy, besides this new moon, which is planting seeds and allowing us to emotionally process what we need to process, and this nodal shift, you know, the moon is going to be shifting into Leo, bringing some of that love energy of support. But before it shifts into Leo, the moon is going to pull opposite Pluto. So again, that's setting us up for some plutonic colonic this week. Like I said, some power struggles, maybe some emotional energy. This may not come in smoothly, and that is okay. I love these two cards. I have the maturity card in reverse, and then with the innocence card. We are all children of the universe, and your lack of maturity may show. And that just might be areas where you need to work through this Venus retrograde, but also where you may have pieces of yourself that are coming up to be reclaimed as part of you in and through this nodal energy. It's okay. Like, I love this combination. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. It is okay. It is all okay. We also have Mercury and Jupiter in... All of my lights going off. Hold on. Alexa, turn on main light 100%.
Okay.
Light. I don't know why it's like she turns down the light on me. So Mercury and Jupiter will also be squaring. Communications may be a little funky in this energy in and through this square, and you may feel a little extra frustrated in this. So really a very interesting collection of energies. The top of the cards that I had today is the going with the flow. It may not feel very flowy. Like I said, you may feel a little temper tantrumy at times. And with the North Node in Aries, I think we're going to find our inner fires heating up a little faster. And you know what? That's part of you. Like your inner passions, your inner fires. We all have all the elements making us up. See that there's productive ways that you can move these emotions, these energies through, but I think it's also important to move it through. Part of moving through is helping you harmonize within instead of stuffing it and causing that chaos within. I also have the compromise card, which is the card I always call the don't compromise card. Be super aware of that through this shift. I might even say at the end, like, honor who you are and don't compromise. Now, I do think that compromise is an important thing to utilize, but we don't want to compromise our value. We don't want to compromise who we truly are. I think that we've done that through so many lifetimes, compromised who we are to appease the powers that be. And it's time for us all to see how much of ourselves that we can embrace and bring forward and recognize where we may be, again, stuffing those parts of ourselves. Really get clear about that energy. And sometimes it takes a little pendulum swinging. Some of that South Node in Libra, we may have some of that going on, and that's okay. It's a learning process, right? To finish off this new energy that we're embracing, I just got a new deck. Literally arrived just minutes before. The Muse Tarot, which is beautiful. And I pulled this lovely card. The Knight of Materials, Knight of Pentacles. And I just love this one little line in here. It shares a message of relaxing into the tasks you love and find meaning in your work. And I think it's just a call, like, in your life, find ways to engage actions in what you love and let that help pull you forward in and through a deeper embrace of yourself. So, leaving that there for today. You can book a reading with me. Last little time to book your reading for Venus retrograde readings. Email me for that or anything else. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and embrace who you are. Namaste.